Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing, 1, 2.
First try, Travis was severely passing fearful. Yes, ref called. Travis didn't catch the ball. They have a discussion about it, and Shedeur was like, catching that ball. I don't care about the passing fear, catch that ball. The play you're talking about, Travis was severely passing fear. No flag. He called that ball. Yeah. And he comes back to the ball like that. Yeah. That was pretty good.
All right, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. If you can hear me, make sure you get in the chat. Let me know where you're checking in from. It's about to go down, baby. It's game time in a major way. Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's go. Let's go. We got the Buffum updates coming up next. Adam is in Lincoln. I am going to be remote from here in the studio. We're going to give you our preview for the game. And then I'm going to do the game live. I'm going to be calling the game live as we watch it here. So if you're not able to watch the game for whatever reason, you're traveling, you're in your car, you want to listen to it, you want to hear the real call of the game, no sugarcoating, no sugar plumbing, no dumb downing, the real deal, then you can listen to me and I'll call it for you guys. Also, I'll be showing some clips of the game and things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. Adam Munsterteiger will be joining me coming up next, as we will go over everything with this game. We're going to probably take a couple callers if we can. If there's anybody want to call in, I'll put that in the chat. Also, make sure y'all support everybody that supports us on this thing, and support the links. Glass House Opticals, Glass House opticals.shop. Also, Goonsville Clothing, get you some. MDJoriginal.com, get you some of those. Some custom gear, and so on. Make sure y'all check out the Prime Parents playlist and get all the exclusives. So what I'll do right now is I'll play the first run out for the Colorado Buffs versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers from last year. I'll play that as Adam is in traffic. He's getting there. He said his traffic is like unbelievable in Lincoln, Nebraska right now. 90,000 fans expected to be there. It's going to be crazy. I'm talking about, can't wait to really go through this game and talk about what's going on. It's going to be a big matchup. A lot of people, let me know in the chat, do y'all think, who do you think will be winning this ball game? Can I put a poll in the chat right here? Who do you think will be winning? I'll just say this. Put your winners in the game right now. Put Cornhuskers in the game or put Buffaloes in the game in the chat right now. All right. Also, I'll put the invite link in the chat. Y'all can check that out. But I'll leave you with this right now. Take a little break until we come back with Adam and myself with the Buffum updates. Buffum updates. Let's go. Exclusive content right here. Okay. Let's go, baby! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Let's go! Coach Prime running out right here versus Nebraska. First game at the crib. The biggest dog, Chico to the sea. Yes, I was on hand, and I was on hand for this coming out too for this last game versus the NDSU, the run out for Coach Prime. Let's go! As you can hear, I'm crunk just like I was about to play. Easy. Let's go. Let's go! T, let's go, baby. C goes hard, baby. I see you, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Go dance. Let's go. Dance. Right here, baby. Let's get it.
To Folsom Field as we kick off our 100th season. Today's matchup is visiting Nebraska.
About to get it today, baby. Let's go, Sean. About to get it, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You heard him say, F the Cornhuskers. All right, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. The biggest out Chico to the city, the place to be. Back up in this thing, live and in effect. Back like vertebrae. I appreciate y'all joining me and let me know where you're checking in from, how you checking in, who you got winning this ball game coming up in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska to be exact. Colorado Buffs versus, put that right there. Colorado Buffs versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln, 90,000. Should be a great ball game. They got a quarterback this year that can really sling it in Raiola. His dad, former player, also ended up at Beaufort, Georgia, coming from over out here in Hawaii. Ended up in Texas also. Let me see. Let me read some comments. Y'all get y'all comments in right now so I can read your comments. El Hombre Negro. He said Nebraska had better competition against against UTEP than they will have against Colorado. Man, come on, man. UTEP would have got drugged by North Dakota State, of course. And no, UTEP. How you gonna say UTEP better than Colorado? What are you, special? You tripping, dog. Let me see. Let me make sure I put the game on right here when we got the game ready to go. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Motion said El Hombre tripping. Adam said, I just dropped off my stuff. Okay. Adam will be on in a minute from the field. Let me see. Yep. All right, so we'll be coming live from Lincoln, Nebraska, right here with Adam Munsterteiger, right here on this exclusive update, preview, should I say, for the Nebraska game. Let me see. Derek Washington said, Denver, Colorado, Green Valley Ranch. What's up, big dog? Oh, now we up in this thing. Big dog on the loose. Go hard. Bite down like a saber tooth. This one ain't for all the dogs. This one for the big dogs. Common sense Buffs. Let's go Buffs. We here for Shiggity. Whoever said that don't know football, right? I be trying to spare people, but hey, you do it to yourself, coach. You doing it to yourself. Trying to get everything right. UTEP a powerhouse. North Dakota State would have beat UTEP, in my opinion, by a big margin. North Dakota State, much better competition. I will say this. Nebraska has some backs. They have some guys who could flat out run it, and they're going to be coming downhill. They run hard. They're most of them are over 220 pounds. Let me see if I can go. If I can give you where's their roster? Their backs. Emmett Johnson, Emmett Johnson and Ramir Johnson. Ramir had 11 carries for 50 yards last week. Emmett Johnson had 88 carries for 71 yards. Then you have Dante Dowdell, 8 carries for 55 yards. Gabe Irvin for the Cornhuskers, 6 carries for 24 yards. And you're talking about backs who are 5'11", 6 feet, 200 pounds, 205 pounds, 190 pounds. All of these guys are downhill runners, which is going to be a challenge for our defense or any defense for say you got a head coach who's a former offensive line coach. So he's going to want to be physical naturally, should I say. Let me see here. If Colorado win, they will compete for Big 12. Definitely. I think they're going to compete for the Big 12 for sure. 41-28 Colorado. I forgot Humphrey always trolling. Yes, 41-28 Colorado. That defense couldn't stop Colorado from scoring on those. Yeah, they were ranked, 16th defense last year. And, yeah, we drug them. We had extra possessions because of the turnovers. But all in all, they couldn't stop us on the back end. And that's what I said in the live yesterday, that on the back end, covering our wide receivers, it should be a problem. Now, we can't look over their wide receivers. They got some guys at the wide receiver position, with great size and who can run, who can make plays. The big fella, let me see, number 18, he played for Wyoming. He put up some numbers. He had 12 touchdowns in 2021. Now, can he continue to do that? Had a good game last week. I'll go down this right here and check this out. Of course, everybody know about their big defensive linemen. We'll get to those guys in a second. But if you want to just talk about wide receiver, Isaiah Nayor, wide receiver, 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver, senior from Fort Worth, Texas. Played at he went to Texas last year, didn't really play, but at Wyoming the years before is where he put up some numbers. Then you have big Jamel Banks, the wide receiver, 6'4", 220-pound senior from DC. Keelan Smith, 6'3", 210, freshman. 6'5" wide receiver, 230 pounds. Man, these wide receivers are getting bigger and bigger. 230-pound wide receiver, dog. They got NFL body, tight end type body wide receivers out there. So we appreciate the super chat just came through. I appreciate all the support, all the super chats, all of the cash apps or whatever. Right up there, the Speed Hustle TV. I appreciate that. Turn it on. I appreciate that. And the super chats that's coming in where you can just like and support the channel. Appreciate the super chat. Any questions you want to get on, make sure you hit the super chat. I'll make sure I get that on. Thank you, Miss Annette Cooley. Miss Annette Cooley. Check out this gear right here. This custom gear from MDJ Originals. Y'all can get that, mdjoriginal.com. Check that out. Tell them BiggDogg sent you. There's the poster right there, MDJ Original. Check that out right there. Also, get you some frames at the Glass House. Where are my frames at? Over there. I didn't wear my shades. Did I bring my shades in? I think I see them right there. I had to put my shades on. This might be a blowout. Shiesky said. Ace Capone back in the building. Oh, not Ace Capone. Was an under 205-pound back. A downhill runner. What? That's a home run hitter. And Shallow, he pulled a hamstring. So if he don't hit stick, he don't want to be in the race. Ace Capone, under 205-pound back. These are compact 5'11", 205-pound backs, man. This is not a 6'10" guy who's 205 pounds and slender. These are compact backs who can run downhill behind that big offensive line that they have. I think they have a couple of pros on that offensive line. One being Big Evans, number 51. Look out for him. Let y'all know I said it now. What up, Chico, LJ in LA, California, in the house. Oh, now LA. Shout out to you. Reverend BJ Nelson for the super chat once again. Appreciate it. You already know San Francisco, California represent. I get love on the West Coast, cuz. I'm getting love on the West Coast. Shout out to Rosecrans. Let me see here. What time the game start? I love CU, but this might get ugly. Okay, we'll see. We're going to see. We're going to see. Give me some examples in the last 10 years, El Hombre. He said, I've seen Nebraska get beaten. I think Colorado's leading the series the last 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen Nebraska get beaten at someone's house and come back the next season in Lincoln and destroy that team. Nebraska going to the FBS. What? Y'all putting a lot of pressure on a freshman quarterback, very talented freshman quarterback, but you're putting a lot of pressure on him. But he has the right tools around him to be successful. Might I need this to say, or should I say, big wide receivers, big aggressive offensive line, downhill running backs. how can we counter that? How can we turn that into a win? You ask. I say we got to play 5 down linemen, control the center, right? Keep containment. Linebackers going to have to play lights out. And I'm talking about hitting these guys in the mouth, and it's not just one of them. So you're not just intimidating one guy. You know, you got to hit multiple backs out there. One might fumble. Cool. They're going to bring in another one. Constant rotation. That's what I like about that. But can we stop it is the question. Can we hold them under 150 yards rushing? Can we hold them under 150 yards rushing? If it becomes a shootout, I'm going to take Shedeur every time. If I'm Matt Rhule, I'm going to try to go with his natural instincts, and that is trying to run the ball and force feed Colorado. Only use his freshman quarterback to protect the ball and to extend drives, to throw short passes into the flats off of play action, things of that nature. Yes, Selma Johnson. I would love to see Ian Massey this week, possibly. Cam Michael, I'm not sure. Cam is super fast too. Yes, he is. So I will be doing the game live, and y'all check that out. But Adam and I, as Adam is checking in right now from Lincoln, Nebraska, right now. How you doing, Adam?
I wish it was Folsom Field, Chico. This is a lot of red we're dealing with out here. I wish I could have gotten on with you sooner. The amount of people around this stadium this far before the kickoff is pretty amazing, though. These fans are very rabid. It's a lot. It took me about an hour to get into a parking spot because it was a sea of red that I was trying to get through. But we're in the stadium. We're in Memorial Stadium, and kickoff will be at 5:30 Mountain, 6:30 Central. And I got to tell you, you feel the Husker love everywhere you go here in Lincoln. As much as I don't like this place, I have to respect the passion of the fans.
Yeah, I'm sure. And we hear everybody dance now in the background, but they're getting the field ready right now. Excuse me. Kickoff is in a couple of hours, and I'm sure you're going to be heading up to the press box. But what are you expecting to see in this ball game tonight?
Well, I can't wait to see what kind of plan Robert Livingston has. I think as talented as Dylan Raiola is, he's still 19 years old. And I think you're going to see a lot of different looks from this Colorado defense that you didn't necessarily see in that season opener against NDSU, because you didn't have to against that offense. And so that's going to be maybe the first thing I'm curious to see, is just exactly how they're going to attack him. Last week, it was just pretty much impossible to get that improved pass rush to do a whole lot, given NDSU's offense was getting the ball out so quickly. This week, I think there's going to be some opportunities for guys like B.J. Green, Deion Harris, Samuel Okunlola to make some plays off the edge, and I think they can be real difference makers in this football game.
Definitely. I think that's going to be the case this week if Coach Matt Rhule kind of goes away from what I think is his natural instinct, is to try to run the ball constantly, being that he's a former offensive line coach. But if we can put Raiola in a situation, or the whole team in a situation where we can get out early and get ahead, to where it kind of nullifies that run game, to where they want to put more passing opportunities in the hands of Raiola, the young quarterback, that could give us opportunities to make turnovers. So it's going to be a fast start needed, I think, from the Colorado Buffaloes to make this game what they want it to be.
Yeah. I just keep wondering, Chico, how is anybody going to defend this passing attack as long as they protect, even at the level that they did in that opener? That's the part that, as I was kind of flip-flopping with my prediction this last week and settled on Colorado winning this football game, that was the difference for me, is just having that belief that this Colorado offense is going to have so much firepower this season that the defense really only needs to be serviceable for this to be a winning football team.
Yes, if they can be serviceable, and Shedeur Sanders, like I said, and the offense can get out, I think the running game is going to be key here. Of course, they have those big defensive linemen across there on the Nebraska side wearing red, but can we control those guys? Can we mix it up to where they're not pinning their ears back and getting after Shedeur Sanders? 8 sacks last game that they met in Colorado. They won't have to. I say, one sack this game. That would be great to have one sack this game. But if we could just keep him upright, protect him on those 5 and 7 step drops, that's going to be key to give our guys a chance to get behind this defensive backfield, which I think cannot hang with the Buffs as far as speed goes. I think Jimmy Horn Jr. going to have some more opportunities along with LeJontay Wester and so on. But, as the game goes on, I think it's all going to be about that run game on both sides of the ball.
Is this going to be the week that we see Colorado's rushing attack get some chunk yardage out there? We've been waiting for it.
We need to see it. We need to see Hayden get loose. If Charlie's going to be starting, get him loose. But it starts up front, and it's going to start with an attitude. Coach, I think Coach Pat Sherman kind of knows that he has Shedeur Sanders at the quarterback position, and if things go wrong, I'll just give it to Shedeur, let him do his thing. But the offensive line has to be assertive and know that this is going to help the pass game at the end of the day. If they can run the ball and the defense can keep Nebraska, I said 175 yards on Twitter, but I really want 150 yards or less. But, man, they rotating those bats over there who run downhill.
Yeah, this is a big week for Vonta Bentley in that linebackers group, as well as that defensive line. And it sounds like Anquin Barnes is going to be back in the mix. So that's another body you can plug and play on that defensive line. And also defensively, Cameron Silman Craig back. So you want to knock on the closest wood that you have near you. But this is a pretty healthy Colorado football team going into this football game.
That's a good thing. Anquin Barnes is going to be a major piece. I expect Colorado to come out and run a lot of 5-man fronts. Tarion Carter, Anquin Barnes, a lot of defensive tackle use. Chidozie Nwankwo across that front and controlling the line of scrimmage to give the backs the freedom to roam, because you're going to need the backs to make tackles this week and not just leave it up to Cameron Silman Craig and Shiloh Sanders on the back end to make tackles. We need those front 7 guys to step up in there and make tackles on the other side of the football also, get that penetration. Once again, it's great to have Cameron Silman Craig back, because he always brings that attitude part of the defense to where you're not going to run on us. At least he brings that, and they can kind of feed off having him back there also.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be a gorgeous evening here. It's 75-degree high today. That's what it is about right now, and it's going to be chilly probably by the time this game ends. And so it should be a pretty incredible atmosphere. Just the folks around here are more jazzed up for this Colorado football game than I think they've ever been fired up for a game against the Buffs, even though this has been a rivalry. It's at times been on the Nebraska side a reluctant rivalry because they already had Oklahoma when they were in the Big 12. But the Coach Prime factor, the fact that Colorado has beaten them the last 3 times since they were last conference rivals, there is more animosity coming from Nebraska's side than I think I've ever seen going into this matchup.
Wow. I think they're at least confident in their new quarterback, a lot more than what they had last year. Do you think, though, what do you think as far as your prediction as far as run versus pass for Nebraska?
It'll probably be 55-45 run to pass, I would think, is kind of how I would see them planning to attack this. And it might end up being more run if Colorado can't stop it, obviously. So that is a part of the game that they're going to exploit if Colorado's not ready to step up to it. This is such a good test for this Colorado football team. I thought that last week, there were certain areas that got tested, but really in the trenches, this is where we're going to find out exactly how much better this Colorado offensive line and defensive line got by adding all those players from the portal.
Exactly. All those players and all those coaches that's been added. Hopefully, it makes a difference this game. This is one of those games where it should pay off. I said last week that North Dakota State is kind of like a baby Nebraska as far as the game planning go and what they want to do. So we got a good test last week with North Dakota State, but now more of a passing quarterback and test on that back end. Do you expect Travis Hunter to play 100 plus 119? What was it? 100 and he missed 2 plays basically. 72 on defense or in 57 on or vice versa. However it goes, but unbelievable amount of plays. Do you expect that amount this game?
I expect Travis Hunter to play that number of plays the rest of the season in every game, as long as he's healthy. And yeah, this is something that Coach Prime has been battling with people and their perception of what Travis can and can't do. And it's pretty clear at this point, Chico, that he can play that number of snaps and still late in the game actually gain an advantage on an opponent because he's still got more stamina than him. It's pretty incredible. It's been hard to sometimes in these national interviews talk about Travis Hunter because it sounds like I'm talking about Superman in football form. But it really is incredible what he can do, and it's so unique, and it's something that every time you can tune in and appreciate it, it's something special because I don't know if we'll see it again.
Most definitely. Well, I'm going to be going live. I'll be calling the game live here as I watch it for everybody else out there that want to listen in with me. So maybe I'll send you the link to where at halftime, if you're available, you can just click on the link and join in, and we'll get your analysis there, and then punch out like that. So let me see. I have a couple questions here. Hey, Chico, are you ready for this win? Our defense will do their things. I think so, R. Crawley. So did I get your prediction yet? Go ahead, give me your prediction, Adam, if I haven't gotten it yet. Your final score prediction before we head out.
I went Colorado 31-28, and it really comes down to having a 22-year-old behind quarterback for Colorado and Dylan Raiola, who I think is going to be the future of this Nebraska program. I mean, he is, the future is now for him in this program, but it's going to come with some of those growing pains that he's just going to have to go through, because there's a lot of stuff that you would think that Rob Livingston and this Colorado defense are going to throw at him that he's never seen before. And so we'll see how he handles it. I don't think it's going to be Jeff Sims Part 2 last year, where he pretty much lost the game early single-handedly for Nebraska. I think this is going to be just a battle, but I think there's going to be just a couple of those 19-year-old mistakes that are going to let Colorado keep that winning streak against the Huskers alive and get out of here of Memorial Stadium with a win.
Well, that's exactly what we expect. Well, what I expect and what I would hope to happen, put them in pass situations and throw one up where Travis and DJ can possibly get one and make those turnovers, which is what we need. So that experience, Shedeur over Raiola at the end of the day, we'll take. Also, defensive coordinator Rob Livingston basically going against a young quarterback. So I think we should be able to get this in the shootout. 40 plus for Colorado to about 32 or something, 32 to 36 for Nebraska. I think they're going to score, not in the ways that a lot of people think, but I think they will score. I think in the shootout with Shedeur Sanders, I'm taking Shedeur each and every time. So for the Buffum updates, Adam Munsterteiger, I appreciate you checking in. Y'all stay tuned for a little bit more as we will be breaking down this during the game. Live play-by-play coming up next. So Adam, once again, I appreciate it, Adam.
You had great content out at Folsom Field last week, Chico, so hopefully people check that out. And I know you're here in spirit today, so thanks for having me on.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you. Thanks once again, Adam. Y'all stay tuned for more Buffum updates right here. All right, so Adam is checking out right now. Like I said, and as you saw, he's coming in live from Lincoln, Nebraska, and the team, yes, is there, and they're getting ready to take the field right now. Any questions y'all have, y'all let me know. I'm going to put this on right here as I take a quick commercial break. Oh, now. Right here. They're covering that back out.
Sanders pass intended for number 3.
They're covering the back.
Edwards falls incomplete.
I got plenty more clips, of course, but that's just a couple of clips last year from the sidelines from the Nebraska game. I just wanted to put that on because a lot of people are saying, man, they're so huge, they're so big, they're going to beat us, they're just going to overpower us and out physical Colorado. Man, it's not going to be just the case like that, man. Y'all just downplaying Colorado like there's nobody on this side. There's nobody wearing black and gold. What are you doing? Prime Sports Media. Oh, now much respect. Hey, you got to get on, man. Let me go ahead and send you the link right quick. Go ahead and get on and talk about this if you can. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now, guys. So you can come on and join. I'm asking Prime Sports Media right quick to come on. I know we did the Prime economics. I can stop the music now, y'all. Hopefully that music wasn't too much, but we did the Prime economics. So now, if you have a chance, you can jump on, or anybody else can jump on also, as we're live and in effect. Back like vertebrates. This is the biggest dog of them all, Chico to the C, and the place to be, coming to you live. Got the Glass House Opticals and MDJ Original. Go ahead, get you some. Also, shouts out to Goonsville Athletics, Goonsville's Clothing. Always taking care of your dog, making sure everything is right on this end. Glass House, what you need to ask about to get your official frames out in Denver, Colorado, now locating and relocating to Las Vegas, Nevada. Once again, thank you for the super chat. We got a new member just joined on, Melvin Burns. You can become a member of this channel right now. What you waiting on? Hit the join button. If you go on the channel, hit the join button and become a member of this. You can hit the like button. You can hit the heart button. If you scroll over, hit the heart and make sure you give a super thanks. We'll thank you so much. Oh, now Edwin Smith out here in Ever Beach. Not too far from your dog right now. LeJontay ready for show. Big game prediction. Big game prediction from Big Dog Chico. I'm going to start doing this every week because I had a prediction last week that Travis was going to have a big game and Jimmy was going to have a big game, in which they did. This game, this week, big game this week is going to go to, once again, Jimmy Horn Jr. just got off with another big play. Man, I can't wait to call this game. It's going to be the first game I call this week or this year. I did like the mic'd up thing last week. Y'all check that content out if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and comment. We got plenty of exclusives on the sideline of the games that only I've gotten. So y'all check that out. We'll be back for the Baylor game in Folsom Field. I could have went to the Colorado State game up there in Colorado Springs, but no, I'm just but yeah, too many weapons at the end of the day on the back end. You saw last year Tavares Dawson score on a zone buster, just going across the zone on a crossing route. He scored. So all we have to do is pass protect, but we have to keep them honest by running the football. You know, and that's what I'm going with. Here's El Humbre once again. No Nebraska QB is Tommy Frazier, etc. After first game, other than Nebraska QB wore number 15 and won national championship. Man, come on. Tommy Frazier was Tommy Frazier, dog. A runner like none other. LeJontay Wester, big game this year or this season. Big game versus Nebraska. What am I talking about? Colorado State plays in Fort Collins. Well, you know what I mean. Fort Collins. What the hell? What did I say? Collins Fort or something? Husker is a different team this year. Hopefully make game competitive tonight. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it will be a competitive game. But if you're talking about a shootout versus Shedeur Sanders, I think Shedeur is going to win 9 times out of 10. All right, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Put it in the chat, in the comments right now. I think it's going to be a 42 to 32 ball game. And the difference really is going to be the turnovers from Nebraska once again. The turnovers from Nebraska, Braden, Florida for sure. Today must be defense statement. I agree. Prime Sports. So I'm going to give you a chance to get up in here, Prime Sports. What we're going to do right now, I'm going to take a quick little break, as I should bring this on right here. While I take a break and let Prime Sports Media jump on, we're going to continue this show. And we'll be back in a minute. Oh, now. Hit up the chats right now. Hit up the chats right now with your question.
Hope everyone had a blessed day. What's going on? We okay? This is phenomenal for the university. This is phenomenal for the young men. Usually in camp, everybody hit a little lull, and you try to catch them before they hit that, so they can bring some excitement, so they can push through just the whole monotonous of the same old routine. And that's what this was about today. I think they did a phenomenal job. I'm proud of them. No injuries, thank God. No injuries. Travis is good. We just wanted to give him some rest. He's great, and he can't wait to see the sellout crowd in our first game. Let's go.
Tyler, go ahead. Did you see the energy you wanted to see? Obviously, you said last night you were looking for that.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, we could always do better. I'm never going to be 100% satisfied. I'm a former football player, not just a coach, so you're never going to be 100% satisfied, but I'm happy with what we got accomplished today. You got to understand, I handicapped the offense. I'm sorry for using that terminology, but I made sure the offense, we didn't show no signals. We cut down the playbook tremendously. We didn't give them a really quick game. So we did some things that we didn't want to show too much of our hand.
It's been good, you know. The coaches have done a great job, you know, explaining the scheme, like not trying to give too much, like too early. Shedeur, you know, he always talked to me in the backfield, like I can always confirm with him what I have. So it's been great.
Was last year difficult for you? Just kind of because you had a bigger role in 2022. Was last year difficult to accept something lower?
Yeah, for sure. It was difficult. You know, played a lot my freshman year. Then I get redshirted the next year. But you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, just trusting God's plan, and you know, they'll be all right.
Thanks, Dylan.
All right, we're live. Back once again in a whole new different way. Thanks to Bleacher Report. It's the Big Dog Chico and Brian on the Colorado Buffaloes midweek live. Bringing it to you right here. Brian, how you doing, man? I appreciate you joining me as we're bringing this to everybody on the Bleacher Report app. We're bringing it to you live right now. We're going to talk Colorado Buff football and give you all the updates and insights. Brian, tell them where they can find you at, where you're from. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, first off, it's good to see you. And people can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at Brian Howell 33, and also buffzone.com, the Boulder Daily Camera. So check us out there, and a lot of great coverage, I think, for myself and my colleague Pat Rooney, and as well as videos with Chico and Adam and all those guys. So we got lots of content between all of us, right? But right. I'm excited about this new venture we have here.
Yes, Dave, we're going to be able to talk Colorado Buff football as we always do. We call it Premium Primetime Buff Talk with yourself and Adam and myself also. But you can find that on YouTube on Big Dog Chico's channel and also on Brian Howell's YouTube channel. But this show right here, the Colorado Buffaloes midweek live, will be living right here on the Bleacher Report app. We'll be sharing this on our social media and everything of that nature. The Colorado Buffs, of course, coming off 31-26 victory over the NDSU Bison. So it was a battle of the Buffaloes in Boulder where it's colder and we like to get busy. Brian, tell me, how was it up there at Boulder, and what did you take from the ball game?
Yeah,
All right, we're back on once again. We appreciate you joining in. This is Big Dog Chico coming to you live and direct right here from the studio, and we're going to another studio out with Prime Sports Media. My man, Clint, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing fine. I hope you can hear me. I hope the sound's coming through nice and easy. I'm doing fine, man. I'm so excited, about the season. I'm very excited about this game tonight. This is my thoughts. I've said this on my own channel, brother. I think there's a lot to be said for the game that they played against North Dakota State. I think that was a great tune-up game. I like the fact, more than most people, that it was a nick and tuck game in which they had to prove that they could come back from a little bit of a deficit. the time of possession, let me know if you agree or disagree with me, brother. The time of possession is a concern for me because North Dakota State really controlled some of the time of possession to grind the ball out down the field. I think that's the same thing that Nebraska is going to try to do because if you look at their game a week ago, they controlled time of possession. I think it was like 38-44, somewhere in there. But I don't think that Nebraska's secondary is going to give our receiver core much trouble. What do you think, brother? I think that's the one area of their football team that may not be as strong as maybe their defensive line and their deep linebacker core that they have on Nebraska.
Yeah. And I think that was the case that what we saw last year. And that's why we saw those big plays from Tavares Dawson and the wide receiver core last year because of if you give Shedeur time, which they can do because the guys on the defensive line are big, but they're not, great pass rushers, so to say.
Yes.
But so if you give Shedeur time, he's going to pick apart a less talented defensive backfield that Nebraska has versus a super talented wide receiver core that Shedeur has at his disposal, so to speak. So I think the key will be stopping the run, first of all, to allow Shedeur to get the ball back so that Nebraska doesn't just control the clock by pounding the football, which I think is what Matt Rhule really wants to do. But if he comes out and gets greedy and wants to showcase his young, talented quarterback, then I think that's when mistakes can happen. He has 4 big, powerful, strong, hard-running backs back there that each had, I think 3 of them had over 50 yards last game, and 1 had like 44, but all of them run downhill and very fast. So it's not about intimidating just one back. You will have to intimidate 4 backs to stop the run game, which I think we could do. If we could hold them under about 150 yards and force Raiola to a couple of turnovers in the pass game, that'll be, the MO or the recipe that we need to get a big win in Lincoln. Like you said, I don't think that they can cover us in the backfield.
No.
So it's going to come down to the trenches off the top.
Let me say this, brother. Last week, Nebraska against UTEP put up, 223 yards of total yards, okay? They had on 47 attempts, yards per rush, 4.7. I think that they're going to try to test our defense. I think they're going to try to run the ball. What I noticed last week against North Dakota is that although that quarterback was scrambling and picking up a lot of their yards, he scrambled because there was pressure being put on him. Anytime a quarterback has to scramble like that, brother, would you agree that it's because the defensive line is causing some havoc to make him uncomfortable that he has to get out of that pocket, and therefore the one area we have to improve on is how do we contain the quarterback when he is trying to scramble, because there's a lot of guys that are very athletic. I think this guy, Dylan, I think he has some aspects of that ability. But this is the thing, and I said it yesterday. We know that Coach Prime, Pat Shermer, we know that they want to spread you out, get the 4 and 5 wide receivers out there. Now, we know Nebraska has 2 big defensive tackles. You've got Nash, who's 330 pounds, nose tackle, they call him. Then they've got this guy, T.Y. Robinson, who's 310 in the middle. So you know that they like to stop the run because if I'm not mistaken, Big Dog, Nebraska was one of the top teams in the NCAA at stopping the run. Now, would you agree that by spreading them out, making them play in space, that you sort of make these 300-pound defensive tackles, you force them to have to run around and play out of their comfort zone of just trying to run stop? What do you think, brother?
And that's what you saw last year at the game. I was at the game last year, and the big play Shedeur made, I think it was on a 2-point conversion. But when he rolled out to the right side, he shook one of them, Ty Robinson, he's talking about, and then Big Hunmaker, he got away from him. So he was out in space, and then he threw the pass to the I think it was Hankerson for the 2-point conversion.
Yes, sir.
But yes, you're exactly right. Get them boys out, spread them out, make them run, make them do some things that they're not accustomed to, or just not at the top of their skill set. So running right down their throat, that might be something that they will offer, but it's also something that we will have to do to get our offensive line going, because we got some big boys on the offensive line too. It's not like they're playing against freaking a high school team, you know, so put some respect on their name on the offensive line also. They just got to come in there and prove it and show it, you know.
Yes, sir.
You want to get some guys who have made some name for themselves the last couple of years on that defensive line for Nebraska. So this offensive line, second game together, first game on the road, we got something to prove, man. You got to gel together, you got to play together. Hank Zielinski is going to have a huge task on his hand, the young sophomore out of Colorado. He's not the heaviest center, but there's a lot of centers in the league that are not so heavy, but they are quicker, can get off the snap faster than a Huntmaker or Huntmeyer, whatever his name is, the big J.J. Watt looking defensive tackle. Shout out to him. But if we can make those guys run around in space, man, we're going to be able to do our thing. Same story as last year. We just got to force those turnovers.
Right, but it's going to happen, because if you look at both these teams, Nebraska and CU, they're opposite of each other in this sense. Last week, Nebraska rushed for 3 touchdowns off the rush, okay? Yeah. Whereas CU scored 4 touchdowns, mainly off of their prolific passing game. So what we need to be doing is, I really feel that our best defense against them is to keep Dylan off the field as much as possible by having control of time and possession. And I think we showed a few glimmers last week that we can run the ball now up the middle. Charlie did a great job. I think they need to get Hayden really more involved, control time of possession. This is one of the Achilles heel. And you've got people in mainstream saying this, because CU has a very explosive offense receiving core and they can score very quickly. The concern is that if they score quickly, how can the defense hold up if a team is going to try to grind it out and move the ball up the field, because you don't want your defense on the field, a large amount of time getting tired out to keep up, because I think it's going to be a back and forth game. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a back and forth game, and I think it's going to be chess on this one and not checkers, meaning that, like you said, they want to keep Raiola and the running game off the field. One thing that this offense does for Colorado, they can score quickly. So that means that the other team offense is going to be on the field, and your defense is going to be back out there a lot faster than what you wanted. So implement the run game, the screen game, the jet sweep game.
I was just saying,
keep your offense on the field and to keep that clock moving, and also to give your defense a rest. And that goes to what we talked about. Instead of just trying to run your head against the wall of Big Nash and Big Ty and the defensive line of Nebraska, let's have them boys run sideline to sideline and keep up with James Horn Jr.
I want them going sideline to sideline.
It's 53 yards wide, right? So, hey, man, you got to cover us sideline to sideline, not just pounding up straight to you. So, yes, like a couple of people said in the chat, screen game should be huge on both sides of the football for Nebraska and Colorado. Honestly, if I'm Nebraska, I'm going into this game and I'm standing up tall. I'm saying to my team, we're at home. We got the bigger, and I'm saying this, you got to preach this, and you got to have their mindset saying that we're the biggest, we're the bigger, stronger team with the better run game. We're going to force feed them down their throat. If they want to come do something, tell them to do something, because we coming. Stop us. Stop the run. And we'll throw it outside to our big receivers every once in a while. That's what would be my running game. That would be my my game plan for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I would say this, though, for those players that still remain on Nebraska and those coaches that are still there from a year ago, do not underestimate the improvement, because they're not playing against last year's offensive line and they're not playing against last year's defensive line, obviously. So I think if they get a little bit like, hey, this is the same team as last year, I think we're going to surprise some people. The media has already got them as a 6.5 favorite in this game. I think they're underestimating Prime and this team. But I want to ask you about matchups. They have a tight end on this Nebraska team. I think his name is Thomas Frodone or something of that nature. And I was talking about yesterday about who should they have in that linebacking core cover him. Now, we know that Trevor Woods is a converted safety to linebacker. And I really wonder how they're going to who they're going to have cover him. I'm thinking that maybe Trevor would be a good selection because he naturally was used to playing in space as a safety. Now converted to a linebacker, he may have some nuances about covering this tight end that they've got. But who do you think on this team, BiggDogg, would be the better matchup with their tight end? Because they've got a good tight end on this team.
Well, I think I mean, if the tight end is going to be the one to beat us, I would say go for it. You know, rather than having those big outside wide receivers hurt us, I would say, you know, yeah, go for the tight end. But you asked the question to answer your question. We have a converted safety. Somebody saying not Woods, but of course the converted safety. I would say Trevor Woods, and he gave up a big play last week out of the backfield. I would think that we'll see that type of route being ran on him this week to at least see if he is going to give up the same type of play. I think it was a play that he would normally not give up, but just going head to head with the big tight end off the line of scrimmage, I think Trevor can do that. I think we could bracket that in some cases with some zone coverages, but we don't play a lot of zone. So if I'm Nebraska, I'm saying let's get the tight end matched up because it's the game of matchups. Let's get the tight end matched up on a smaller safety like Cameron Craig in the back of the end zone. Let's throw it up to him.
The reason why the reason why I bring this up is because we know that Robert Livingston is employing this 4-2-5 defense, and there's different styles. There's the norm 4-2-5 defense, where you bring two safeties in, you have two linebackers to the outside, where you have a safety over the top. Or if you're going against a team that wants to spread you out with three wide receivers, then you have a safety that you can drop in there and put him in the box. And I'm saying that because with the versatility. We have versatility guys.
There. You got Savion Riley we saw play last week. We got Herman Smith III who came in, you know, when Cameron Craig went out last week. They played well, both got experience. Then you have guys back there who we haven't even seen yet in a Travis J. And even a couple other linebackers like Wester and B. Gant who could play. You got guys who can plug and play. It's just what system are they going to run? I think we should see, in my opinion, I think we should see a lot of cases, a lot of 5-down linemen. We saw it in some cases versus Nebraska, North Dakota State, but I think we should see it even more versus Nebraska and say we're okay with our freshman or their freshman quarterback knowing that we're going to go man across the board. All right, we're okay with that. We're going to go man across the board and free. But we don't want to allow the run game to just be slashing us all game.
That's
if we
the
can
concern.
Stop that. Yes, that's the concern. Let's make the freshman quarterback beat us rather than allowing the run game to beat us.
Right, because if they get their running game going, it's going to give the freshman a lot of confidence, and then he can do some play action off of that or what have you.
Now all he has to do is protect the ball and not lose the ball game. Because if he have a run game going, and I could roll out on that on play action because they have to stop the run, and I could hit them with the sidearm throw over there, just hit the tight end, Big Fidone, who you're talking about, or the running backs in the flat, and let them turn and run. You know, then it'll be a long day. So it starts with stopping that run and playing physical up front. Tarion Carter, Anquin Barnes, Chidozie Nwankwo, Ryan Buell, Deion Hayes, BJ Green.
Deion Hayes, that's right. BJ Green.
Bentley has to be big this game. Jeremiah Brown
played well last week.
All of those games. Yeah, he played very well last week. I like that. Shout out to my guy ESPN Pinky up in here. You know he's a huge. He should be ESPN Red because he's a huge Nebraska fan. So we got to make sure we get this win because I'll be hearing about it all year. if not.
Now, I want to bring up this point too. Hopefully, they're going to put. Well, I'm saying the obvious thing right now, but I'm hoping that they definitely put Travis Hunter, match him up with Isaiah, which is Isaiah is their number one receiver. I think Isaiah originally came from Wake Forest. They have a guy named Banks who transferred over from Wyoming. I think, is it Banks who came over from Texas Longhorns?
Nayor went to the Longhorns last year from Wyoming.
Okay.
And when he was at Wyoming is where he put up some numbers.
Yeah.
There. But I don't think he got a chance to really play at Texas. But big body wide receiver. They got some big body wide receivers
right
forward for Nebraska. Nayor is 6'4", 220 pounds, a senior out of Fort Worth, Texas, along with Keelan Smith, 6'3", and then who's the other guy, 6'5", Carter Nelson. I don't think he plays as much as
he doesn't play as much. It's basically Banks.
Yeah,
and Nayor. These are the two key guys. Hopefully, they're gonna make sure that they match. Well, I know they are match Travis with their most prolific receiver that they have on the team. Because
I think that these guys are going to match up well going to be a good matchup for DJ McKinney, also being a bigger cornerback for Colorado. Jamal Banks, 6'4", 220, senior out of Washington D.C.
Yeah, I think they're both seniors.
Yeah, he has some production, 59 catches in 2023, 653 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then Nayor had 12 touchdowns in 2021 from Wyoming.
Remember, Nayor had 121 yards receiving last week with 1 touchdown, 6 receptions, 59-yard longest run for him. So that's why I think that's key. Yes,
Travis did have problems with bigger wide receivers last year. You saw the guy from Stanford was a bigger wide receiver, and then the kids from Arizona, Tetairoa McMillan, is a bigger 6'4" wide receiver who Travis had a little bit of problems with. So hopefully that won't be the case, and he can have a better game this week, and showing that won't be a trend, with 6'3" and up wide receivers versus.
Right. And Travis, just like Shedeur, they spoke about this. He looks like he's put on a little bit more weight. He's got a little bit stronger. You saw it last week when he was matched up against North Dakota State. He literally was, knocking this guy off of him. And of course, Shedeur, they said that the scouts are really happy that he has put on some more weight. He looks a little bit stronger. I really think, Big Dog, that sky's the limit for them this season. I just think if they can control their compose themselves in this loud environment. Let me say this. Let me ask you this question. I want to make sure I'm right about this. When you go into a loud, rapid environment like Nebraska has, does that tend to affect the offensive line a little bit more in terms of communication and when they have to make shifts and stuff in the line? Doesn't that impact the relationship between the offensive line and the quarterback a little bit more?
Absolutely. It can really, cause problems in communication.
Yes, sir.
On the offensive line, wide receivers, running backs. So I'm sure they've implemented some type of system this week to anticipate the noise that's going to be there in Nebraska. So you might see some hand signals this week on the sideline. Shedeur will have the device in his helmet to where he can hear the offensive coordinator and Coach Prime up to 15 seconds left on the play clock. So that's a good component to have, to be able to communicate and to transmit and transfer the word and the plays and everything to the offensive line and such. So all of that stuff has been practiced over this week. You saw them blaring the loudspeakers of the Nebraska fight song during practice. So they're getting used to hearing that. So it shouldn't be anything new other than just seeing a sea of red going around there, and so on. So I think it's going to be a something that they will adapt to pretty quickly, and something that they've practiced on, something that can affect the ball game, but something that they must, not allowed to affect them in any type of way in this ballgame. Once the game starts and once you start making some plays, then the crowd noise kind of goes down until specific moments in the game. So
what's the BiggDogg? Let me ask you a question. What's the status on this my man Cameron? The safety,
Cameron Craig.
Yeah. What is his status? Is he out for this game? Is he out for a suitable amount of time, or is he ready to go?
If CU loses about 30 or more YouTube to cancel all independent content creators from the platform.
Oh, come on. Get out of
here. All right. Stillman Craig has now been cleared to play. He's back. He's back in the lineup and he probably might be starting this game also.
Because, he's a ball hog. He's a ball hog. And I like that.
You might see a guy might be key this game in the defensive backfield would be a guy, remember the name, Carter Stottmeyer, a bigger, stronger cornerback that can be placed in this ball game for the physicalness that Nebraska is looking to bring in the run game. He can be that guy
because he can play safety and cornerback. Am I correct about that? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
So look out for Cameron Stillman Craig to have a big game. Look out for who else? I said DJ McKinney to have a good game. And a lot of names to be called on the defensive line.
Let me say what I think is the X factor, and I liked what I witnessed out of him. What's the young man, number 10, Wester?
LeJounte Wester, yes.
LeJounte Wester. There's something about that guy, that young man, that people need to pay attention to. I think he is someone that can be very explosive. He had a few plays last week that I thought was impressive. If he can get going, because I've been saying this on my own channel, that you already know this, BiggDogg. A lot of these teams now know that Travis is dangerous. Yeah. And so they're now bringing safeties over the top. They're rolling over to his side. That could only open the door further for J5, in this case, Jimmy Horn Jr. But then you have Wester, who can benefit from the double teams that Travis is going to be seeing from game to game. I think it just opens up the door, and I wouldn't be surprised if this young man gets off today.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head right there with LeJounte Wester having a big day and being primed for it. You saw Shedeur looking to go to him a couple of times in the game, but probably, like they say right here in the comment, probably could have put it out there even further so that Wester could go and get it. But he's primed and ready. You saw him go make some big blocks on Jimmy's long touchdown. LeJounte is out there hustling, always around the football. That's what you want to see, man. And his time is going to come. If he's out there playing hard constantly, being open, getting open, his time is going to come, and it could be this week.
And that's what I want to see. I mean, the question is, you got to pick your poison. Do you double team Jimmy Horn? Do you double team? You know what I mean? Whichever way teams go, they still open up the door for other people to employ their skills and take over. One of the things I think I'm gonna say this. I still think that people have underestimated the fact that offensive line has been improved. And we know that Jordan Seaton is a fresh out of high school. He's only going to get better as the season goes along.
Right.
I mean, there's a picture of him where he literally pancaked. I mean, we're talking about pancake with the syrup on top, man.
Yes. Early morning with the pancake and syrup, with the bacon on the side and a good glass of orange juice. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
if Shedeur has that type of time, then it gives him the ability to, carve the defense up, read the defense, what they're doing better. Right. And another thing, BiggDogg, they're not playing so far behind the chains where the receivers have to go deeper into their routes, which means Shedeur has to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer to give them time to get into their routes, because they're always playing, 3rd and 15, 2nd and, 13, something like that.
And that's why the first down calls are going to be so important, whether they're screens or jet sweeps or handoffs or whatever. It's going to be important to get in 2nd and 6 rather than 2nd and 9, because that changes the dynamic, that changes the play call, that changes the defense. If thoughts on the other side of the ball, whether they think it's going to be a run, they can pin their ears back and definitely get after the quarterback, or they have to be looking out for the run game or the draws or anything of that nature. So I like the fact that, Coach Pat Shurmur should be looking to mix up things this week. I like the fact that he likes to, give the opportunity to the guys that he has, to get in space like a Jimmy Horn Jr. or LeJontay West. Just give them opportunities to do the things that they're best at. I like that about him.
Right. Brother Big Dog Chico, I want you to give a nice breakdown on this young man. What is his name? Miller. They're saying they want to use B. Miller. They want to use him just the way the 49ers use my man, because the 49ers are my favorite NFL team, by the way. But Debo. And we saw a little taste of that. We saw a little bit of, Traylon Miller. We saw a little bit of that last week. Yeah. What do you think how he could be? Because we just said a few minutes ago, put them in space, make them have to run around, get those linemen tired. Well, he's the perfect example of a guy that they're using like Debo to get him in space. What is your thoughts about that young man?
I think he's an excellent young freshman, but he has the body of like a junior college athlete. But so he had some contributions last week early in the game. I think the first couple of plays he had some touches. So true freshman who was highly touted out of high school, but really has broken into and made a name for himself in the spring for Colorado, making plays in practice, and now he's becoming a weapon on this squad. Yes, you can use him in the backfield just like a Debo Samuel, kind of in that same frame as far as height and weight goes. Shifty guy, can line up outside, inside the slot, or H-back position, can take handoffs, can take jet sweeps, screen passes. So he might be a name that can get off this week also. A tough runner and can break tackles. So look out for Traylon Miller.
Wow.
Yeah. So
your analysis is excellent as always.
I appreciate it. Y'all, hey, y'all make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe, comment on Prime Sports Media and Big Dog Chico's channel right here. We're extending the pregame show or the preview for the Nebraska-Colorado game. We started out with Buff 'em updates. Big Dog Chico show. Now we're into easily just transition into like a prime economics with myself.
Folks, we'll be family life has been crazy for me, but we're gonna get back on the saddle again and start doing some shows, brother. But things have been kind of crazy, so that's why you haven't seen more content. But we're gonna do it because I think a lot of people really received the last collaboration that we did very well. So, folks, we're gonna do some more. This is a nice little preview of it right now. But man, I'm so excited about. Like I told, because now that the season has started, we got more to talk about. Right? We have scenarios that we can get into in terms of what happens in the game. And I got to say this is I'm not going to name names, but everybody's going to know what I'm talking about because I want to be respectful. But there are some young men that left the program, and there's a few that are having some problems in their transition on their other teams, or that they're not getting what they thought they were going to get. And I almost feel like sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. And maybe they would have been more nurtured had they stayed with CU. Just my thoughts. Because you're hearing the rumbling out there.
Yeah, for sure. I wish the best to all of the guys out there. I saw Savion Wilkerson have a big run for, I think it was Georgia Southern he's at, or Georgia State.
And Dylan is doing good with Kansas State.
And I think Dylan scored also, so he's going to be a problem for Colorado to deal with when he comes back to Folsom. So, you saw Florida get blown out down there, a couple other people. So, wish the best to all of them, but it's about the guys on the squad right now. We're looking to have those guys gel and mesh together to where they can make some big plays and beat a team that they're, not favored to beat in Nebraska out there in Lincoln, Nebraska, out there Memorial Stadium in front of 90,000 and see a red. So I'm going to be bringing the game live right here on this channel right here. I'm going to have it coming on and previewing live in about an hour. The kickoff is in about an hour and a half. So y'all stay tuned for that. Bruh, if you want to come on and call the game, watch the game with me, we could do that. I'm going to have people join on also, but I'll be doing the play-by-play analysis.
Okay. I'll come back over. I'll come back over and see what you're doing. I'm kind of debating. Well, I'm debating whether I'll do a pregame show a post-game show tonight or not. I may, but I'm glad that you invited me over. The audience looks great out there. This is exciting. We got more to talk about. We have a lot to look forward to. But I'm going to tell you right now, my prediction is that I believe that CU is going to win. And just as we said a few minutes ago, there's going to be some surprises today, guys that are going to step up.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. And
I think so. It's going to be needed.
And also BJ Green, he was a little quiet a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget, he can be very, very disruptive.
I think this would be a game.
He could be the game that he does something.
Yes, because Raiola's, I think if they get greedy, he's going to be dropping back to pass. A good passer, man. You guys are going to be impressed with Raiola. Hopefully not. Should I say that? Hopefully we won't be impressed. Not this game. Not this game. But good young quarterback, man. He has some talented guys around him. But overall, I think Colorado can go in there and pull out this victory. It's going to start by being aggressive early and getting out front early. We need to get up by 14. You see what I'm saying? And that way, these guys have to pass the ball a lot more. If you're going to be watching the game, all you have to do is watch the game, but have me on your phone or your computer, and you can listen to me while you watch the game.
That's good. That's great marketing. That's great marketing.
Rather than listening to Joe and Bob on there,
right?
You come listen to the Big Dog.
Right. If you listen, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And whoever else join on.
Definitely. If don't listen to the game on regular radio, if you can only watch it that way, listen to Big Dog. He's gonna have it live today. Yeah, that's good. I occur to that. I agree with that. I sanction that, everybody. So Big Dog, I'm going to get off right now and prepare myself for the game. Myself personally, I got my hot wings and all that stuff ready to go.
Sounds good. My mouth getting watery right now. I gotta get set up too.
All right, brother. Well, peace to you and your family and everybody in the chat room. Enjoy the game today, and we'll. You know how content creators are. We're going to all give our point of view about what happens. We want the best for CU today. Take care, brother.
Yes, indeed.
Peace.
Thanks again. Appreciate you joining on, and go have a good one. Hey, everybody out there, y'all hit the like, subscribe, comment. Make sure y'all check out Prime Sports Media also on all platforms. Check out Big Dog Chico on all platforms. We will be live coming up in about an hour. We're going to go 30 minutes before kickoff and give you a preview, update, and such. And then we're going to call the game right here. Y'all share this thing, like this thing. It ain't going to get no colder than this, dog. Whoever else out there calling it, let them call it. But I'm sure it's going to be like eating potato salad with raisins in it. What? Potato salad with the raisins in it, dog. We don't do that around here, dog. We want some creamy, good, cheesy macaroni and cheese. You hear me? Don't give me no dry stuff. So that's what you're getting over here, dog. That goodness. Come over here and get that good old-fashioned soul food. You understand me? Maria said, watching the game with Chico on YouTube is sheer entertainment, and that's what we're going to bring to you. Information and entertainment. Joe and Bob and Buck and Bill and Bruce and whoever else going to be calling the game over there, let them call it. If you're a content creator out there and you want to come in and listen and watch and call the game with me, give your analysis or whatever, do it. Let's do it. Let's collaborate. Let's put it on together. You can put it on your channel also. It's all about the goodness and the gracious of the Lord. You understand me? Now share this with your friends and your family. No raisins in our potato salad around here, dog. No raisins in our potato salad. I'm calling the damn game. Casey Helmer said, okay. Now, Indian. We up in here. The basement said, I'm still under this crazy impression and feeling that CU has left those 3 guys out on purpose. What 3 guys? Bruce Buffer style. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, It's time for you to tune in to the best to do it. The one and only, the biggest dog of them all, Chico to the C, and the place to be, straight from the 2 SEL. We're bringing it to you live and direct. Make sure you go to The Glass House. Make sure if you want to get you an ad, you holler at your boy, get it right here. Make sure if you want to donate to the channel, you can right there. Make sure if you want to get you some custom CU gear like I'm wearing right here, you go to MDJ Original. Where is it? There it is. .com, MDJoriginal.com right there and get you some. Also, right above my head, GV Athletics. Type in Goonsville and you can find that. Also, a center that was All-American and All-Pro. That was his dad, Dylan Raiola's dad, I think you're talking about. This is like a Mayweather fight, the main event. You understand me, K. Miller? Yes, indeed. Coming to the stage, coming to the field. You already know what it is, man. Who's going to be calling the game? It's Chico to the C. All right. Live stream coming up in a couple. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. Shedeur Sanders versus Dylan Raiola. Nebraska Cornhuskers hosting the Colorado Buffaloes right here live. BiggDogg Chico channel, network. Like, subscribe, and share this thing. And comment and join the conversation by hitting the invite button that's going to be in the chat as the game starts. All right, Chico, when you on Bleacher Report each and every Wednesday, we're on Bleacher Report each and every Wednesday. We will be on Bleacher Report. Y'all check that out. Matter of fact, I'll play the Bleacher Report preview from myself and Brian as I end the live stream and start the next one coming up 6:30. What is it, Central Time or Eastern Time? 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, and so on from there. We will be going live. So that's in about less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. All right. So here's the update if you haven't seen it from Brian and myself on the all new Bleacher Report update, the Colorado Buffaloes midweek update from BiggDogg and Brian. Check it out. Bruh. And I appreciate you joining me as we're bringing this to everybody on the Bleacher Report app. We're bringing it to you live right now. We're going to talk Colorado Buff football and give you all the updates and insights. Brian, tell them where they can find you at, where you're from. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, first off, it's good to see you. And people can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at Brian Howell 33, and also buffzone.com, the Boulder Daily Camera. So check us out there, and a lot of great coverage, I think, for myself and my colleague Pat Rooney, and as well as videos with Chico and Adam and all those guys. So we got lots of content between all of us, right? But right. I'm excited about this new venture we have here.
Yes, Dave, we're going to be able to talk Colorado Buff football as we always do. We call it Premium Primetime Buff Talk with yourself and Adam and myself also. But you can find that on YouTube on BiggDogg Chico's channel and also on Brian Howell's YouTube channel. But this show right here, the Colorado Buff Buffaloes Midweek Live, will be living right here on the Bleacher Report app. We'll be sharing this on our social media and everything of that nature. The Colorado Buffs, of course, coming off 31-26 victory over the NDSU Bison. So it was a battle of the Buffaloes in Boulder where it's colder and we like to get busy. Brian, tell me, how was it up there in Boulder, and what did you take from the ball game?
Yeah, overall, my take is that's a good win for the Buffaloes. And, I know there's things to nitpick, and, we've done that. We might do some of that tonight. There's certainly things you got to improve upon from last week. But, as I've told other people, you think about the narrative all offseason going into this was, oh, my gosh, that's a tough opponent. Why'd they schedule this game? This is a trap game. A lot of people putting them on upset alert. And then they win the game, and there's all these people saying, well, all you did is beat an FCS team by 5 points. Like, wait a minute. It can't be a tough game beforehand, and then you discredit the win afterwards. Right. So, to me, good win for the Buffs. Nice things to build off of.
Exactly. If you guys are checking in right now, you can listen in and join the conversation by getting in the chat, leaving your questions or your comments for myself or Brian. I'll take it from that game, Brian, being there on the sideline. Great atmosphere for the first game, playing the NDSU squad that's always good, won some championships, tough to defend because they're going to run the ball right at you and they're going to hit you with misdirection. And they play 11 on 11 because they're going to run their quarterback. But we did a good job, overall stopping them. I think they only averaged 3.3 yards per carry. They had some long runs, of course, but we were able to contain them for the most part. And big plays from Shedeur and Travis and Jimmy Horn Jr., of course, on the offensive side of the football to propel the Buffs to a win, giving up 6 points in the second half. The offense, Deion Sanders, over 400 yards. I'll put this up right here. He did what he did. What do you think that's going to be able to sustain against Nebraska squad, though?
I don't see him getting 445. He could, Dedeaux's capable of doing whatever he wants to do, right? But I don't see 445 again. But I think they're going to have some big plays. I think he's going to, have the opportunity to throw for 300 plus and a few touchdowns as well. And I think with those weapons, I think they can beat any secondary, and Nebraska's got some players back there, but I think that there's going to be opportunities for them to have a big game. And what do you think? I mean, I don't see a 445, but I think there's going to be opportunities.
Well, yeah, I think it'll be tough to get to 445 because of the style of the game. I think it'll be for Matt Rhule. I think he should be coming out there saying we're going to run this football, we're going to make them stop the run, and we're going to use our young quarterback in play action situations, and we're going to have him take care of the football. We don't want him to be Patrick Mahomes this game, even though we know that that's who he idolizes, but we don't want him to go out there trying to duel with Shedeur Sanders, so to speak. He's what is he? How old is he? 19-year-old freshman. I don't want him to be trying to battle with Shedeur Sanders and go tit for tat with him and have 400 yards. Run the ball behind your big offensive line, make Colorado stop you. And if you're Colorado, you're like, man, we have to stop the run. We have to do the exact opposite of what they want to do. We have to stop the run and really make the young guy, even though he's hella talented, make him beat us, and hopefully he'll throw some passes that we can pick off and have some turnovers on the defense side of football.
Yeah, and I would love to see 100 of Shedeur's yards from 445 over to the rushing side, And, we talk a lot about that, but they didn't run the ball as much as I would have liked to have seen in week one. I would like to see them get 100 yards rushing in this game and finish with 450 total yards, 100 of it rushing, 125, whatever, and 325 passing. I'll take that. But I think it's important for them at some point. I don't know if this is the week to do it, but I think that it's important at some point get a run game going here because we haven't seen that really now in 13 games under Coach Prime. I'd like to see a run game going.
Yes. I know they tried to, have a run game get started, the past game versus NDSU, but just couldn't get it going. NDSU doesn't have any, prospects or draft prospects, I think, on that defensive line. So to even have, 30% of Shedeur's passes be pressured and not to be able to get the running game going, it is not a great sign heading into Nebraska with those big corn-fed, no pun intended, but big corn-fed defensive linemen, man. You're going to have to be ready in the run game, and we have to establish it some type of way, with them big boys right there. You have to establish it some type of way versus these guys.
Yeah, and I will add, too, though, that, with North Dakota State and Coach Prime, we saw in a video point out to his team that he admires North Dakota State, that they've got 11 guys on the running of the ball every single time. Yeah. And they're just disciplined. They know how to play. It makes up for maybe you're not the most talented team. Maybe you're not full of NFL prospects, but when you play together as a unit and you got 11 guys going to the ball, that makes up for some of that. We're not going to, see the Buffs play many teams that are as disciplined and as sound fundamentally as North Dakota State, in my opinion.
I put my shades on. I put my blenders on because you mentioned Coach Prime. You know what I mean? So shout out to Coach Prime, man, getting another win and putting together a coaching staff that I think made some hella fine adjustments, should I say, in that halftime for the second half of the NDSU game. So, if we can continue, I saw Coach Rob after the game, if we could continue to make adjustments at halftime or in crucial moments to where, you know, the game is not going to get too far away from us. We're keeping it at arm's reach to where, you know, we're in striking distance. And all the time, if you are a possession away with Shedeur Sanders at the quarterback spot and those weapons on the outside, you have a chance to win. The improvements, what I would like to see, and I'm going to ask you also the improvements you would like to see coming up for this week. But I would say we will have to improve. And they said it also. You know, shout out to Khalil Benson, who said in the pregame or postgame interview with the pregame show, Uncle Neely, that we played well, we did our job, but we have to get better next game. It's not going to be good enough versus Nebraska because they're going to come. They hit Shedeur Sanders a lot last game. What did they have? Eight sacks last game versus Shedeur Sanders. So he doesn't need to be getting hit like that in Lincoln and with the crowd going crazy. So can the offensive line protect them versus Nebraska is the big question mark, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, you know, I've got to give some credit to the offensive line this last week, only allowing 1 sack. And that, you know, Shedeur was hit a little bit, probably more than you want to see in that first half, but only 1 sack. Last year, they gave up at least 3 in every game. So to only have 1 against NDSU, you got to give them some credit for that. You want to see it be better. You want to see more of a run game, and you know, a lot of that's on the offensive line. So there's definitely room for improvement. But when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, there's some signs there, you know. And let's not forget, I mean, not only is this the first time that group of 5 has played together, there is no 2 guys on that offensive line that had ever played a football game together. So,
wow.
You know, and when you think about that, because sometimes you'll have, well, it's a new line, but your right tackle and left tackle, or your right tackle and right guard played all year last year together, right?
Right.
These guys, there's no 2 guys that have been in a game on the same offensive line together until last Thursday. And so you've got to give them some time to gel. And the one thing about college football, and, you know, Shermer said it before that game, this is not the NFL where you have preseason to work out kinks. You got to kind of work out those kinks, you know, in September in real games. And so I do expect that offensive line to get better. I think that was a really good first test, and we talked about it beforehand. I think that was a good first test for that line against a really physical North Dakota State squad to kind of get their feet wet a little bit, and now they've got their feet wet. I expect a better offensive line going forward.
Yes, because you know NDSU is going to be tough in the trenches if nowhere else. I think that Nebraska is more like a big boy version of NDSU in a way. They want to run the ball, they want to pound the ball, but this year they just have a quarterback who can sling it. We just happen to be from out here, originally out here in Hawaii, from where I'm at right now currently. But so we heard his name a lot, you know, with his father being a former NFL player. But this guy can sling it. Does he have the same athletes on the outside that Shedeur Sanders has to throw to and to play with? Can they get open versus our defenders that we have? DJ McKinney, Preston Hodge, and such. Colton Hood going to be playing. Travis Hunter back there. You know, Jimmy Horn Jr. had 7 catches, almost 200 yards last game. Travis Hunter did his thing, 7 catches, 132, 3 touchdowns, and 3 tackles on the defensive side of the football, man. What's going to be the difference in this ball game to where Colorado can come out on top?
Yeah, I think first off on the defensive side, you've got to be able to cover those guys. I don't think Nebraska has the same type of receiving core, but you know, I think there's some pressure on, you know, Travis, DJ McKinney, Preston Hodge. Those guys have got to play well in pass coverage, and I would imagine we're going to see some man-to-man coverage, so the Buffs inside can stop the run and get after the quarterback. That's ideal. That's what you hope. I think we're going to see some of that. So those DBs have to be on point. And then offense, I'm curious to see who steps up aside from Travis, because as Shedeur's even said it, I don't expect 198 yards from Jimmy again. It could be 150 yards from LeJohntay. It could be 125 from Will Shepherd. It could be 150 from Jimmy. Who knows? Maybe it's a Draylon Miller game. Who knows? You know, so I'm curious to see, you know, there's a couple of those guys we didn't really get to see a whole lot of last week that they're gonna pop off at some point.
They have to. Who's going to pop off at the running back position? I want to find out. Up this game, we got Charlie. Charlie still, slated as the starter. Dayton Hayden had a good game rushing, but he's still at number 2. We didn't see any of Michael Welch, the freshman. Didn't see any of Isaiah Augusto, the transfer. Will that be any different this year? Or not this year, but this game? As we saw last year, though, they kind of stayed with Hankerson at the lead back. So will we see more of a committee, or will we see that same 1-2 punch once again?
Yeah, I would think we'd see some more of those guys because we know they're talented. And Coach Prime mentioned he wanted to try to get Michael Welch into the game late in that game. It just didn't get a chance to do it. I imagine we're going to see some of him. They need some guys who just pound some yards. And one of the reasons Charlie starts is because I think he's the best pass blocker. That's my guess. Dallin actually he played 2 more snaps than Charlie did. But read what you will into Pro Football Focus ratings. But if you look at the pass blocking grades, Charlie's was way higher than Dallin's. Like Dallin had a pretty bad pass blocking rating from that game, whereas Charlie's was pretty solid. And so that's a reason why they want Charlie in there. I think Dallin looked better as a running back the other night, although nobody really shined big time. But I think they've got it, whether it's Micah, whether it's Isaiah, whether it's Dallin, Charlie, it doesn't matter. I think they've got to get somebody that can, churn out some yards. And it doesn't need to be a 100-yard game, but, get a couple guys with 45.
You gotta keep the chains moving. You gotta keep the clock rolling also, and you gotta take some pressure off Shedeur Sanders and the offensive line mainly, to where they're not always in retreat, dropping back, passing protection all the time. And the defensive line knowing that's the hardest thing to do as an offensive lineman or a pass blocker, to drop back and to block, knowing, that the defensive line knowing that the pass is coming. They know what's coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to do that. You have to keep them on their toes. And to be able to come off and smash somebody in their mouth in the run game sometimes is needed for their offensive linemen. You have to keep them. It's kind of like feeding them. You got to feed your big guys the ball and give them a chance to smash somebody. And that's going to be crucial this game, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, at some point they got to get that run game going, and I think that this will be a good time to do it because I think that'll be key. If you can run it down their throat a little bit and kind of quiet the crowd a little bit, that'll be huge. I think that's the best way to sustain some drives, is to mix in some good runs in there as well. And so I think this will be a good one to do it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you guys in a minute. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and comment, and all that other good stuff. And Brian and I will be back in a minute with the Colorado Buffs midweek live right here on the Bleacher Report. Checking in from Big. All right, we're back. All right, we're back. Colorado Midweek Live with BiggDogg and Brian right here on the Bleacher Report app. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know you're checking in, where you're checking in from. Big game coming up, going down to Lincoln, Nebraska. Huge crowd going to be there. See a red, they said, be ready for it. So let me know. You're going to be going down there once again. Let me know how you feel. What's your projections and predictions for the game?
Me?
Yeah, I'll say you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. How are we gonna project this game? Well, it's gonna be a tough one for the Buffs. I think it's gonna be a tougher matchup than last week, mainly because it's on the road. I've been to 2 games, CU Nebraska games in Lincoln, and it's a great atmosphere. There's 90,000 people there. It's a fantastic atmosphere for college football, but it's a tough one to go into if you're a road team. The Buffs aren't going to be fazed by that, I don't think. We know Shedeur, Shiloh, Travis are not going to be fazed by that. What I'm curious about is, are there some of those other guys that will be?
Yeah.
But and that's the thing that Coach Prime has said, that last year's team, there were a lot of guys that weren't really ready for the lights, and for the big time attention and all that. Have they fixed that? Do they have guys that that bothers them now? We're going to find out. But as long as they're all on point and they're not, if they can take the lead of Shedeur, Shiloh, Travis, then I think they're going to be okay. And I think the Buffs win this game. And maybe it's because I'm biased a little bit, but I'm going to give the edge to Colorado because of the quarterback thing. They've got the best quarterback in the country. Dylan Raiola is a 5-star, really quarterback. I think he's going to be fantastic, and he's already really good. But he's making his second start in college, and I'm going to give the edge to Colorado because of the quarterback play. I just think Shedeur Sanders puts him over the top, and I'll say 30-27.
30-27, nice. Okay, 30-27. You just said something also that might stand out to me, and that is the fact that, of course, yes, Dylan Raiola is making his second start in college. It's not just that. He's making his second start in college, and he's facing a former NFL defensive coordinator. Now, Nebraska's defensive coordinator is going to throw a lot of different things at Shedeur Sanders, but Shedeur Sanders is a 4-year starter. He's been around for the longest. I think he's seen pretty much any and everything somebody can throw at him.
Yeah.
So I'll take my chances saying that the defensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes can throw some things that maybe Dylan Raiola haven't seen before, being that it's just his second start in college. Having said that, like I said earlier, if I'm the head coach, Matt Rhule, I'm going to make sure I protect my young quarterback because I have a big offensive line and some big backs. And these guys I think 3 guys had over 50 yards, 40 yards rushing last game. So they're going to run it by committee. It doesn't matter who it is. All of them big, strong, and fast. We're going to have to be tough up the middle. I would like to see us run a lot more 5-2 front like we did versus NDSU trying to stop the run, which works sometimes, or most of the time, should I say. The guys in the middle, Torian Carter. We need to see Equin Barnes this week. Big Ryan Buell need to play a lot better than he played last week. Not saying he played terrible, but play a lot better. All of them going to say they need to play better. Maury McNeil, Tawfiq Thomas, all you guys, it's your game to step up and keep those running backs and those offensive linemen, should I say, off of the linebackers, Trevor Woods, Levante Bentley, Nikai Hill-Green, and allow those guys to run free and make some plays in the backfield. It's going to be an attitude type game, this game, dog. You're going to have to say they're not running against us, and you're going to have to mean it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'll throw out another one. Levante Bentley, I'd like to see some more plays out of him. He played a solid game the other day. I would like to see some more impactful plays. His tackle total should be a little bit higher this week, I think, going against the run game.
I'm telling you.
That's a guy that I look to and say, you need some more. You need some leadership and some big plays from Levante Bentley this week.
Leadership and big plays. Trevor Woods make up in that passing game for the play that you gave up. I think that was just a little bit of lapse of concentration, right? It can happen so fast, he's running an out route. Let me peek in at the quarterback. Oh damn, look back at the running back. Now he's running an arrow route. Oh damn. And he's beat. And you just see Trevor like he's cussing himself out the whole time he's running down the field. So I think he's going to be a lot more focused this game, knowing his assignment, knowing what he has to do, and just not letting the moment become too big for him or any of the young guys out there. Huge game for the defensive line. Coach Sapp, Coach D-Lou, Coach Vincent Dancy, the whole defensive line and defensive coordinator crew is your game to step up and to show out. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to do his thing with the wide receivers he have. It's a trenches game, offensive and defensive line. You got to step up.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you. So I want to ask you, last week we saw Travis and Jimmy with both 100-yard days. Are we going to see even one 100-yard receiver this week?
Oh, I think that absolutely now. We're going to see one. Okay. Will we see two is the question. I think it could be more of Shedeur Sanders just distributing ball more and being more of that point guard facilitator, passing it, taking what the defense gives him, and then bam, hitting hitting them with the deep shots. Who will get those deep opportunities? I'm not sure. Could be LaJohntay Wester this week, as they might go in and focus on Travis and Jimmy. And that's the thing about this offense is they are so blessed with talent on the outside. As far as you take away one, hell, LaJohntay is just as fast. He can go get some too. So take your pick your poison. But if you're not able, for Colorado on the defensive side, if you're not able to stop the run and they're committed to the run, then that's going to nullify Shedeur Sanders and them being on the field.
Yeah.
So the defense is very crucial this game in stopping the run. So I guess we can get to my prediction in a minute. Any other questions you guys have, put it in the chat right now. If you're watching, we're going to have this on YouTube also somehow, some way. Check it out on Brian's channel. You can subscribe right now on YouTube at Brian Howell. Is it 33, Brian?
Yep.
Brian Howell 33 on YouTube. BiggDogg Chico, BiggDogg on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and such. And we'll get back to you, your comments and your questions and your responses. My final score for this game, I think it'll be, I don't know the game plan for Matt Rhule, so I'll say I'll give two predictions. If he comes out and do a ground and pound, right, I think it could be a 30-something, 24 ball game, Colorado. It could very well go the other way too now if we don't stop the run.
Right.
But if this is all things going well for us, Colorado. In the shootout game, though, and Matt Rhule comes out there and says, I like my young quarterback, and I'm going to go toe-to-toe with Shedeur Sanders, it could get a 42-38 ball game. We win, and a pick 2 from Dylan Raiola. So, I think it could be an exciting ball game either way it go. Evenly matched team. We should be prepared for it. Like I said, NDSU and then Nebraska being kind of like a big brother version of NDSU because of the styles. We should be prepared for that. That should have been a perfect warm-up, so to speak, to get to Nebraska.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's a good comment, is that I don't like to make – a lot of people like to make a season-long judgment based off game one, right? And I don't ever like to do that. So I look at that game one, and there's a lot of people that say, oh, they barely got past North Dakota State. This might be a long year. Well, I think that was a great warm-up, like you said. I think that was a really good one to just hit somebody and be physical. You don't want, in my opinion, you don't like that game one to be somebody that you can just run over and truck.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want, we saw some of those scores this weekend, 70-3, 70-7, things like that.
It doesn't give you a real sense of where you are, as a ball club.
Yes. And I don't remember even who won any of those games, but I think we know a little bit more about Colorado than those teams that won 70-3,
Right.
And so I think that was a good warm-up for the Buffs. And, Shedeur mentioned it. He was asked about getting hit, and he goes, hey, that was the first time I've been hit since November. And frankly, it was the first time he got hit since the hit that knocked him out against Washington State. He goes, I actually kind of liked it. And so the hits are out of the way for Shedeur. They're out of the way. Shiloh was in the yellow jersey all throughout camp, right? He hasn't really hit anybody in months either. And so there's a lot of those guys that – and how many times you played? I mean, a lot of fall camp is thudding, right? It's not full-on take guys down and try to take their head off.
Right.
So these guys finally got a game out of the way where they can just go out and hit us and go 100 miles an hour and hit and feel some of those hits from a really physical team. So I agree with you. It was a nice warm-up for them. It ramps up a little bit this week, and I think the Buffs are ready for it.
Definitely ramping up. I think some of the guys, just to go back a little bit, I think some of the guys on the offensive line and defensive line also got a chance to see themselves on film and say, you know what? I got to get better than that. I can't be doing that. I will say this, and I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but offensive linemen in general, all right? This for any team. I don't care who it is. Little leagues up to pros, dog. If you're on the offensive line and you're pass blocking and your guy goes away from you, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's coming back. If no one comes back, please don't sit there and block the air and throw lookout blocks.
Yeah.
Please go engage, turn all the way around, and go find somebody because they're back there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to come back and come around and say, hey, come block me. No, they're trying to get to the quarterback. So please don't be caught on film blocking the air and throwing lookout blocks. Go block somebody. All you got to do is turn around. It's legal. Turn around and go block somebody. And that should be on film. And I'm saying this because it's on film, and they should have seen it on film. And anybody that takes pride in the way they play, like Coach Prime always says, you putting it on film, dog. So all that talking, the scout's going to look at the film. Yeah. So, you know, I said all that to say this. Listen, get better at this game. Find somebody to block when there's nobody to block. When there's nobody to block, the air is not going to get you a grade. All right? Yeah. Let's get better.
Well, you know, and when you watch some of these well-off videos, you hear Phil Lodeholt say to his line a lot of times, have some pride and put together a drive.
Yes.
You know, and that's what this group needs to do. And I'll add one other little prediction for you is that I'm predicting that the tight end is going to catch a couple of big passes in this game. I'm not going to go as far as to say touchdowns, but it could be. But I foresee situations where it's a 3rd and 4, something like that, and they throw a little wrinkle, and instead of you know, trying to force to a receiver, you slip Savell Smalls out, and he catches a nice little 7-yard pass and moves the chain. So
all right.
I'm predicting a couple of catches from the tight ends.
Yes, indeed. And my big tight ends, baby, shout out to Savell Smalls and Sam Hart and the whole group out there, Coach Brett Bartoloni. Morgan Pearson, also a tight end. Shout out to the whole tight end group. I was able to go out there and catch them on the sideline warming up. So there you go. You have our predictions. You got mine. You got Brian. We both picking the Buffs to win this tough game in Lincoln, Nebraska, going down in a major way. Go out there and check it out. Over 90,000, right? 90,000 plus out there in Lincoln.
Yeah, they say it holds like 85, but they somehow squeeze 90 in there every time.
Exactly. Lincoln Memorial Stadium. September 7th is the kickoff is 1:30 my time. That's Hawaii time. But
5:30 Mountain, 6:30 in Lincoln, 5:30 Mountain, 1:30 in Hawaii.
All right, so y'all check it out. Be ready for it. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe, and follow us, and stay tuned. Each and every week, we're coming back right here, Colorado Buffaloes, midweek live. And Brian, you want to leave them with something before we get up out of here?
Hey, just we're glad for those that are joining this this live show here. We're looking forward to doing it all week or all season every week, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed, it will be a lot of fun. We want you guys to join us. All right, so hit the like, subscribe, and comment, and make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Brian Howell 33, BiggDogg Chico. We're gonna be up and about this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, now, all right, for everybody checking in. It's about to be game time, baby. It's about to be game time. If you're ready for game time, put game time in the chat and get ready for it. I'm going to go over now to our live stream for the game I'll be calling play-by-play. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, coming out of other good stuff. It's the biggest dog of them all. Chico to the scene, the place to be. I'm going to be up in about the same piece in the Middle East. Yeah! Let's go. Buffs, baby.